If you've inherited an IRA under the new 10-year rule, you might be wondering, can I do a Roth conversion of those dollars? Unfortunately, the answer is no. However, it doesn't mean there aren't other creative strategies to really accomplish the same thing. I'll share my two favorite, that and more, coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. When they first came out with the 10-year rule, okay, the 10-year rule that shifted how your approach needed to be taken for inheriting IRAs from someone, I'll explain it here in just a second. Originally, as I heard that rule, I thought, oh, bummer. I mean, this is going to cause more tax and so on. But at least, maybe you could do a Roth conversion in the first year of the 10 years and then allow those dollars to grow tax-free for the next 9. Oh, that makes a ton of sense. Well, that's what you should do. And initially, it wasn't very clear whether you could or could not do that. But alas, it's official. You can't. You cannot do a Roth conversion from an inherited IRA under the 10-year rule. Now, to level set, done a lot of content on this, and hopefully you're up to speed. It's very, very complicated, but let me just share the 10-year rule. The Secure Act 1.0, Secure stands for an acronym that actually is not really accomplished in the law like all of them. And this was enacted in 1/1 of 2020, had nothing to do with COVID. If you inherit an IRA from someone who passes away after 1/1 of 2020, then you have that IRA is subject to the 10-year rule. There's 3 classifications of beneficiaries. I've done a lot of content on these. And if you are a designated, not eligible beneficiary, then you have to withdraw that account, completely empty the account that you inherited within 10 years. Okay, no question. So if you are listed as the beneficiary and you're not the spouse or one of the other qualifying individuals that's eligible to have some special exceptions, if you are listed as that beneficiary, you got to empty the account within 10 years. And then also starting this year, if the person that was the original owner of the IRA had already passed their required beginning date, meaning they have already been taking required minimum distributions, you've got to take required minimum distributions every single year as well and have the account emptied within 10 years. So you can see the restriction, right? Because the rules before this, so someone that passed away under the old rules, so before 1/1 of 2020, you could take out as much of that account as you wanted, but at a minimum, you needed to take out a required minimum distribution every year, but you could do that perpetually, for forever. Really, they called this the stretch IRA, even though it wasn't a different IRA. It was just you were stretching it by just taking a minimum amount out every year and allowing the IRA to continue to grow. So those are grandfathered for someone that passed away before 1/1 of 2020, but someone passing away 1/1 2020, moving on forward, that's the 10-year rule. So you can't do a Roth conversion with those dollars, okay? You can't do a Roth conversion, but you could essentially accomplish the same thing with a couple of different strategies. The first one's my favorite, and it's sort of like the obvious thing hidden in plain sight. And I'm going to say it's hidden because as we plan with folks about this, it's sort of like, oh, I guess I didn't consider that. I didn't think about that. And I get it. Finances are confusing. This is a different language. But if you are forced to withdraw these dollars under the 10-year rule out of this inherited IRA, and they're going to land on your tax return regardless, well, you could just use those dollars to contribute to a Roth IRA. You could just take those dollars. If you're not already maxing out your Roth IRA, you could withdraw those dollars and max out your Roth. And depending on how much you need to withdraw, you might say, oh, well, I could actually contribute more. If I could do a Roth conversion, that'd be more money getting into my Roth. Okay, well, at least take what you can get. And then stretching beyond that, well, what if you say, well, I'm already maxing my Roth. Well, what about your Roth 401k? You could take these dollars out of your inherited IRA and no, you can't just write a check and contribute them into the Roth side of your 401k, but you can goose up your own contributions coming out of your paycheck. That will lower your take-home pay, and you can set up an automatic withdrawal or whatever to replace that lost income, that lost take-home pay from the inherited IRA or the money that you take out of that. What about your spouses? 401k, that's another thing that's sort of sometimes hidden in plain sight. If you're married, you might be obviously treating your finances together, but super focused on your own contributions, whereas your spouse might not be maxing out their 401k or their Roth as well. And then I'll do you one more under the same favorite idea hidden in plain sight often is, do you have the ability to contribute to a health savings account? And are you maxing that out? Those are all ways of sort of playing, it's two steps, sort of playing the shell game. You got to take the money out of the inherited IRA. It's going to be taxable. If you wanted to do a Roth conversion, and you can't, if you wanted to do a Roth conversion, then that money would land on your return as taxable and then be in an account that's growing tax-free forever. Well, this two-step approach, because that Roth conversion is not possible, accomplishes the same thing. But I recognize not everyone can do the first idea, my favorite idea. You might not be able to if you don't have earned income. If you have received an inherited IRA and you're not working, maybe that caused you to retire or helped make you financially ready, or emotionally you were grieving and you were pretty close to being ready to retire anyway and you said, nah, I'm retiring. If you don't have earned income, you can't contribute to the Roth IRA. Your spouse can't contribute to the Roth IRA. You don't have a 401k to contribute to. You might still have an HSA, but you might say, I'm retired. I can't do the first one. Or you might say, yeah, I'm not eligible to contribute to a Roth or whatever. Then maybe consider this second idea. And that is using the money that you withdraw from, you're required to withdraw from the inherited IRA and withholding it for taxes. And then doing a Roth conversion of your own IRA. There's nothing preventing you from doing that. Now you might look and say, now that's me recognizing too much income. It's going to push me into a too high of a tax bracket, could cause IRMA, could cause some other collateral damage on my taxes, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, you might not want to. You work with your CFP. However, this is another idea to essentially accomplish the same thing. If you're not allowed to do a Roth conversion from an inherited IRA, well, and you wanted to, well, does that mean the circumstances are ripe where actually you should do a Roth conversion of your own IRA or some of it? And if so, then you might say, well, it's taxable. I've got to withhold or pay the taxes. Withhold the taxes on the inherited IRA so that you don't have to withhold any taxes when you do the Roth conversion of your own IRA. Now, obviously, both of these ideas, and this isn't just it's not an exhaustive list, but both of the ideas are circumstantial to your unique financial picture, your unique tax picture. You've got to be working with your certified financial planner to see if either of those ideas make sense for you, or if you need to consider a third or a fourth or a fifth, or maybe there aren't a lot of choices for you, but you got to be working with your certified financial planner on that. The point is, if you've received an inherited IRA, don't just take withdrawals at random. This is an indication that you need to be doing proactive tax planning so that as you are forced to draw dollars out of that inherited IRA over 10 years, you don't let unnecessary dollars slip through your fingers, go to Uncle Sam. If you missed an opportunity, you won't really know it, but you've got to make sure that you capture the opportunities. Work with your certified financial planner on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with a K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@Korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.